Welcome back to Just Another Game Review, and today we're talking about Borderlands 1.
I played 3. I played Borderlands 3.
Oh, we are doing Borderlands 3, but there's no difference.
Fair enough.
So, Randy, I ask this every time. What is Borderlands 3?
Borderlands 3 is a traditional looter shooter.
Oh,
and
it's just like
curveball.
And it's just like if you ever played any other looter shooter, you've played this game already.
Yes.
Yeah. Especially if you've played Borderlands 1 or Borderlands 2 or Borderlands the pre-sequel. You've played Borderlands 3.
Yes. And it sounds really sarcastic, and it is sarcastic, but it's not necessarily a bad thing. It really isn't.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
They're sticking to that hard, and it's not a bad game. I had a fun time.
I did too.
It was basically a new story, same gameplay that I've always enjoyed, and I enjoyed it again.
Yeah,
I really did. But let's talk about some of the stuff. First off, one of the main things about Borderlands is the cell shaded,
the comic booky style.
Yes. What do you think about that?
I love that aspect. There's an old game 13 that started all of that, with the comic book style. And I love that Borderlands does that because they build that dramatic tension with this cartoony comic book style artwork. And I love that.
What do you think about those?
I didn't like it.
You don't like it?
It's not my style though.
Yeah.
So.
I'm more towards your side. I do enjoy the comic book feel. The only thing I will say about this is you play Borderlands 1 and then you play Borderlands 3 and there's not a huge difference. You can't tell it's even a difference in generation because that style doesn't lend itself to graphics, which is fine. It still looks pretty cool. But
that's where the whole difference between art and graphics come into play, I think, though.
Yeah.
Because, obviously games like Call of Duty and stuff, their graphics oh my god, that looks like a real person. As where Borderlands, it's colorful, it pops, the environment's fresh.
Which can be a lot of fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
But you touched on loot and shoot. You want to explain what that is?
You loot and you shoot.
That's a good point. That is a really good point.
He nailed that.
Right? You just, you go through the story, the whole thing's geared towards end-game. You get your gear score up. The whole loot shoot genre is getting people hooked on drops, the legendary drops, getting that gold. And it's gold on every single one of them. You got the
it's origin, wow.
You got the commons that are gray. You got the greens that are a little bit better, and then the blue, purple, and then legendary.
Hit him with that.
Yeah. And it's not even some legendary stuff. It's you gotta get a certain legendary, and then get the stats with it.
Plus, there's the god rolls.
Yeah.
You have to get on the items.
But that's part of the fun of it, though. And I mean,
yeah, but I'm not a looter shooter, dude. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
it's
which
grindy.
is weird to me because you love MMOs, and that's the same thing, just without the first person shooter.
I don't have legendary drops in MMOs.
I mean, sorta.
Yeah, they got the gear score thing, but I don't know. It's a single player game has got to be really good to keep my attention.
Yeah. Well, that's the fun of this game is the multiplayer to me. But and this isn't a knock towards the game. Any game that's multiplayer is fun if you're playing with the right people, and that's how this is. I mean, it's a great multiplayer, but it's great because we have a fun time.
I said single player. I just meant PvE.
Okay.
That makes sense.
It's really good for me.
Oh yeah. I get what you're saying now. You're not. It's not competitive multiplayer. But yeah, the multiplayer is just. It's good if you're playing with the right people. It's bad if you're not. I
think that all the Borderlands have done this. So you have classes. You have 4 classes, and in this one they took a less traditional role because in the original Borderlands it was basically a tank, a soldier, the sniper, and your siren. Your spellcaster, pretty much.
Yeah.
In this one, they still have that feel, but they added Flak, who's a beastmaster.
Yeah.
So he has pets, AI pets that will attack and give you buffs. And then you have Mose, who calls in an Iron Bear, this big mech suit.
Which is what I was.
Yeah. And then you have Zane, who has the holograms. So they took and the drone. And so they took kind of a turn from the traditional classes they set up. And one thing I felt like the classes meshed really well.
They did.
You could play, you can jump on the back of your friend's Mose turret in the Iron Bear and mow people down. That's awesome. That stuff needs to be in there.
And piggybacking off of your characters, the real characters of the game are the guns.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, like, some of the guns, you find the same pistol twice and they do 2 different things. Which is kind of cool, but that's always been what Borderlands is. Again, it's the same game, but it's still fun. 10 years later, however long it's been.
One thing I like about Borderlands Legendary, you're talking about they drop legendaries. One thing I like about it is there's always an obscure ability that's not face value.
Yeah.
So like you'll get something that it'll have in like red letters or something. Ride the bull but fear the moose.
Yeah.
When you put the shield on, it gives you 0 shield. Like that's its special. You have no shields anymore. And it's like, this is a legendary drop? Like, what the hell is this? But the thing about this game, you will spend so much time. It's like Vegas, just waiting for the lights to pop and a loot to drop out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that's the one thing I love about Borderlands in general, because it's like, oh my god, there's gear everywhere.
Yeah.
It
rains kill a boss,
gear.
and it's like,
yeah, it's raining colors.
In this one, they even added a weapon that shoots guns.
I didn't get that.
It's in game. You get a gun, and for Iridium, which is the special currency that you find in the game, you don't have to pay for it. You find it in the game. So you can spend Iridium and aim it in the air, and it will literally just volcano guns over the game. It's awesome. But
that is pretty cool. I didn't see that.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet. But like you were talking about earlier, you touched on the point of this game is to get to the end game.
Yeah.
A lot of games have done that.
Yeah.
You have Destiny, The Division, Borderlands, obviously.
Every MMO
ever made is all about getting to the end game. So my question to you guys is, what did this game draw your attention enough to even care about the end game? Because that's important. Like,
yes and no. I didn't make it to the end game, but mainly because I didn't have the time to make it to the end game. I think I would. I honestly, I'll continue and I will get to the end game. It's just I didn't get there yet.
I'd say it's got probably about a 30-hour runtime, 35-hour runtime to get to the level 50.
I'm probably pretty close then. I got probably 10 hours left.
Yeah. So, but once you get to that end game, it regurgitates the same campaign. So you're playing through the same story. The only difference is you go into what's called mayhem mode, and it makes like enemies have 150% more armor, 150% more health.
So it's basically just a new game plus.
It's new game plus with insanely hard enemies, but they draw you into playing that because you get a 600 or 500% loot increase of rare items and stuff. And in my opinion, I hate saying this because I don't like when games aren't fun until you're 30 hours deep.
Yeah.
Borderlands was fun while I was playing it. The end game is really fun. Like when it's chaos.
Now here's my question then. What's the point of the end game loot?
There is none. Literally to grind your gear score up and be badass.
Yeah, because I mean,
show off to other people.
Yeah, all the people you won't talk to.
Yeah, because I mean, like in MMOs and stuff, you want that really, really nice piece of gear that you've been trying for.
Yeah.
And when you get it, then you can actually go on to the next, the next dungeon or something because now you're good enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, there's a reason, or you can take it to
355.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Or you can take it to PvP and play other people.
Yeah. Yeah, there's the end game in this is really just for the challenge. Mm-hmm. The enemies are a lot more harder.
That's okay. I mean, we all like a good challenge.
Yeah, they always say like 1 billion guns.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
If the next one, if their slogan isn't 1 billion item slots,
yeah.
I'm not playing it.
I know, dude. That's the dumbest shit. That's the terrible. 1 billion guns, you can hold 40. That's so stupid. So one thing they started in Borderlands 2 was their social media in real life, like their Twitter. Follow us on Twitter. Follow us on Facebook. Get these key codes. So at the end of the game, when you hit 50, you can use these golden keys to unlock special gear, which is
or if you're you use it at level 20.
Yeah, it's gonna match whatever level you are. So if you're dumbass, you can use it at level 10. Yeah. But so when I was playing this game, I'm not a social media guy.
Yeah,
I haven't had Facebook since 2009. I got a Twitter, one for our channel at justagamerreview.com on the weekend, but 2 to follow Randy Pittsburgh, the creative director of Borderlands. And he's constantly dropping these codes. Well, this time they did it. It's like, golden key code expires in 3 hours.
Yeah.
So if you have a life or a job,
you're
not getting it. Because it'll expire before you can punch it in. But the story bases their story. The Borderlands story is based on social media. The Calypso twins are trying to get followers and all of that. So it's really like a spoof on society's view on social media.
Which the whole game is a spoof.
Oh yeah,
And, like the
so
whole
many
game is
puns.
just
so many puns.
And some of them are hilarious, and some of them are. I'm just like, man, they really tried there.
Yeah, there's some of them that I don't catch right away,
Mm.
and then when I think about it, I'm like, oh my god, yeah, I get that.
Yeah.
I was playing with our buddy Caden, and there's a part where you're in this room and you accidentally, the AI kicks a rock down a hole, and it makes that ding, ding, ding all the way down, and then it starts flooding in. Caden's like, this is Lord of the Rings. I was like, oh my god, it is Lord of the Rings. They're in the caves and they knock the dwarf caves. Like, oh my god. And then you have like one of the bosses is Pain and Terror, and it's a complete spoof of Penn and Teller.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's
I didn't
awesome.
catch that.
Yeah. Pain and Terror is a spoof off of Penn and Teller. And you had like hidden ones too, like Rackman. He's like, I'm Rackman. Like it's a complete rip off of Batman. But that's one thing I've always enjoyed about the Borderlands series is the puns that they make on pop culture.
They're pretty good at that.
Yeah.
But all right, so I guess final thoughts. Let's start with you. What would you give Borderlands 3?
If you're a looter shooter type of person, this is a game for you. If you're not, stay away from it.
Yeah.
You want to give it a score?
I enjoyed it more than I thought I would.
Mm-hmm.
I'll give it an 8.4.
Okay. I'll just go next. And I'm going to agree with you. That's exactly what I was thinking. It's an 8.4.
Really?
8.4, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I don't need to explain it anymore. I think he hit it on the head.
I was going to go with like an 8.39. No, honestly, I'm nostalgic on Borderlands. Kind of a fanboy, I'll admit it. I'm going to give it a 9. If you like the other Borderlands and you're not playing it, what are you doing?
Yeah, I mean, but I think that's a good point though. It's like if this is your genre with anything, like then you're gonna like it more than
you have a lot of looter shooter games out there. This one is where they got this from.
Mm-hmm.
Like this is the looter shooter game.
Literally this one, because it is the same as the first one. Yeah,
absolutely.
But I guess that does it for this episode of Just Another Game Review. If you would like, follow us on Twitter at Just a Game Review. Hopefully by the time this is out, we'll have a Facebook page. You can follow us on there too. Like, favorite, and subscribe. Comment down below. And stay tuned for the next review. I think we're going to talk about The Last of Us.
Yep.
Until next time.
Remember, you can't beat your friends until guns come out.